Hey everybody, my name's Christina with Redo the Work, and today I'm addressing the common fitness fear of injury. Now you could have a general perceived fear of injury because of stories you've heard or because of your perception of what exercise is like. Or you could have PTSD because you have injured yourself before, you have gone through the recovery and you know what that's like and you don't want to be there again and you're afraid of re-injury. Let me first just say, no matter your reasons for your fear of injury, your feelings are valid and you belong here and you're amazing. But what is fear though? Let's get into that. Fear is this great, big, heavy emotion that's based on something that could happen in the future. I mean, right? We're afraid of something that may or may not happen. Fear is an emotion, it's a feeling, and emotions are our subconscious mind's way of communicating with us. Yup, that's right. Emotions exist as a way for our subconscious mind to deliver a message to us, and if we take the time to interpret the message, we get to understand ourselves a little better. Fear is usually, not always, delivering a message that we feel unprepared or incapable of handling what might happen to us. So the antidote is to gear ourselves up with knowledge and prepare for success so that we can trust ourselves that we'll be able to handle what we're afraid of if it actually does happen. So if you're watching this video, you're already on the right track. And there might be a message in here for you today, so stick around, we're about to get into it. So today's topic is fear of injury, and I'm addressing those of you who have a general perceived fear of injury and those of you who've been through some shit and are afraid of re-injury. Now, if you're currently in the recovery process of dealing with your injury, this video might help future you, but right now you need to focus on your recovery and we are all rooting for you. Now listen, pain is trauma. An injury is physical pain and massive psychological trauma, and your brain can't tell the difference between a broken bone and a broken heart. So the same way, after you've been hurt by a partner or a friend, you might have trust issues. After you've been injured, you might also have trust issues, but with yourself and your own body. Your body let you down. It failed to protect you in some way. And just like an ex-partner, you might be mad or sad or feel deeply betrayed by your body. Except it's different because you could break up with your partner if you wanted to, but you can't break up with your body. You're stuck with it. That's why I like to think of myself and my own body when I hear the words, "till death do us part." Because it's true. So on top of healing your physical injuries, you've also got to heal that psychological trauma with your body. Otherwise, the cycle of mistrust and betrayal is just going to repeat itself over and over. I know that sounds like a lot of work, but you are worth the effort. And here's what could happen if you don't. Because you're in a place where subconsciously you don't feel safe in your own body, your amygdala, which is the part of the brain that scans for danger, is going to sense your fear of exercise, and it's going to send a stress response to your body. And once you're stressed out and tense, you're pretty much priming your body for injury. But what you do have going for you though, is you've already been through this process. If you've physically healed your injury, that means you've already gone through an A to Z transformation. You already know what it's like to make incremental progress and to be your own biggest motivator along the way. So as you step back into exercising, you've just got to repeat the process and celebrate all the small wins along the way. And you might be going along and making progress and feeling good, and you try something and bam, you feel the tweak and you're swiftly reminded like, oh yeah, I'm dealing with this. I wasn't ready for that. But even the fact that you were able to try is a win itself. And all those small wins deserve to be celebrated. You're amazing. Keep going. So what if you've never seriously been injured, but you're still worried that you might hurt yourself while exercising? You're most likely dealing with a psychological lack of trust in yourself and your body for other reasons. And this might be really deep rooted in your subconscious. It's like I said earlier, your brain registers physical pain and emotional pain in the same way. So your self-talk might be telling you that you can't trust your body, or that you can't trust the decisions that you make with your body, because when you do, you get hurt. And this could be rooted in so many different traumas, especially if you identify as a woman. This could be rooted in your relationship with sex, your relationship with food, your self-image, your body image. And this could be something that has happened to you personally, or something that's been impressed upon us by our culture and our society. And that can be a heavy thing to unpack. But let me tell you a hard truth. You're actually at a higher risk for injury by doing nothing. You can hurt your wrists or your back or your neck just from sitting. Repetitive use injuries are a real thing, even if your repetitive action is repetitive inaction. So let me ask you this. What pain and discomfort are you currently experiencing in your current lifestyle? Now let's revisit fear for a second. Fear is an emotion based on something that may or may not happen in the future. And the underlying message is that we feel unprepared or incapable of handling what might happen if it does happen. And so the pain and discomfort that you're currently experiencing feels relatively comfortable because you know you can handle it because you're currently handling it. And the pain and discomfort that you might experience from trying something new or exercising or moving your body in a new way could be perceived as something that you're incapable of handling because it's in the future and you haven't been there yet. Isn't that interesting? So now that we know all that, how do we deal with the fear? So here are my 6 tips for you. You gotta deal with that emotional, psychological baggage that comes with not being able to trust your body. If you want some practical ways to do that, I've got some really good tips and tricks, but I don't want to spend too much time in this video. If you want more on that, please let me know in the comments. Before you begin any movement practice, breathe. I'm telling you, you gotta lower the stress levels in order to prime your body for optimal movement. The more stressed and the more tense you are, the more likely you are to injure yourself. As you're stepping back into exercise, I would avoid cardio until you feel more comfortable moving and start with strength training. Now, for most people, strength training looks like lifting weights. And if that's not your thing, you can do strength training without dumbbells. You can do resistance bands, you can do medicine balls. There's all kinds of fun equipment that you can get your hands on, or you can just do body weight exercises. Form is key. Now, the antidote to fear, remember, is knowledge. So the more you know about an exercise and you know how to properly execute it, the more you can trust that you're doing it right, and you can let your stress levels go down and you reduce your risk of injury. You can learn proper form by watching videos on YouTube, hiring a personal trainer or a physical therapist, or if you're taking fitness classes, just make sure you go up to the instructor and let them know the injury that you're working through or the fear that you're working through, and tell them that form is important to you and you would appreciate an explanation of proper form for every exercise. Another one is your proper gear. If your injuries are lower body related, make sure you got the right shoes. And I know that could be a whole other video on its own, but shoes matter. And if you don't want to spend the money, just remember that you're investing in yourself, pumpkin, and you're worth it. And my final tip is for you to prepare. Do your research. If you're dealing with a specific injury in a specific area of your body, learn as much as you can about that body part and how it functions and how it's supposed to move and what it's made of, all the different parts that are in there, because knowledge is power. The more empowered you are to take control over your circumstances, the more likely you are to do things that scare you. Now, I'm not saying that if you do 1 through 6 that you're completely injury proof and that you'll never hurt yourself. I just hurt myself the other day. Look at this shit. Look at that big ass bruise. Anytime you move your body, there's a risk of injury. But remember, not moving your body comes with a risk of injury also. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you were able to take away at least one thing from today's video. If so, please comment down below. Let me know what you learned. Let me know what resonated with you. And don't forget to like and subscribe and all those things. Please share this with somebody who's going through it right now. Today got a little deep. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you guys next time.